they present to you youth-driven business, or rather youth-driven business of the future. That is under the topic reimagining entrepreneurship post-COVID-19. As we know, we're living in the country where the high employment rate, the high unemployment rate is very high. We already have a problem with many of our young people out there not having jobs. Now, COVID-19 came into our lives in the past year, and it has impacted our lives in so many ways. With so many young people losing jobs, I could just go on social media and you will find a post of somebody who just lost a job. Many companies went down, especially the small businesses. Now, COVID-19 came into our lives and it changed how, or the reality of how we do our work, and brought changes into entrepreneurship. So today we will be talking about the impact of all this in the way of running a business. You probably have an idea of how you want to start a business, and this is a great platform where you will be gaining knowledge of how you can run a business at a time like this when everything has moved digitally. My name is Anza Pidana, and I will be facilitating this program throughout. And thank you so much to all Tshwane University of Technology students and all the stakeholders out there who are streaming this live. We are live on so many platforms, so you can go on Facebook at Tshwane University of Technology, TUT, to stream this. We also live on BUA Campus News. You can also go on YouTube, that is on BUA TV. As part of our discussion, I am joined with me. I have 4 speakers who are entrepreneurs. These are the people, more interestingly, when I was going through the list, I learned that these are the people who studied with the University of Technology. More interesting challenges that they came across, and how did they work things out. Now, we all need guidance, we need knowledge as to how we can start up a business. So I have 4 of my wonderful speakers with me. We will be having discussion with Mr. Sanile Zulu, and we will also be joined by Ms. Nthabi Mokhosi and also Siyabonga Tele. He will also be joining us. He also studied with the Tshwane University of Technology. Mr. Philani Hlatshwayo is also part of the Tshwane University of Technology. He's also a co-host on Soweto TV. He will also be sharing with us his journey. Now, if you have any questions that you would like to direct to us, please direct that to us on the Tshwane University of Technology, TUT. We will be sharing those questions, and then towards the end of our discussion where you will be answered. If you have someone out there, your friend that you know, they really need to be part of this discussion. They really need to know how can one start up a business and learn how to groom themselves and grow themselves into the digital space that we are living in. Please invite them through so that they can join us. Now, without any waste of time, I would like to call on Dr. He is the director at SGLD right here at Tshwane University of Technology, to welcome us. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Anza. Thank you very much for a lovely opening and lovely welcome. Much appreciated. It's good to see our students rising as you are doing, rising in the media space as well. Thank you very much. Colleagues, fellow students, to all our students at TUT and staff members who are viewing this program, and the members of the community at large who are viewing this program, I wish to welcome all of you and officially open this event this afternoon. This is a wonderful event. TUT has, as part of its goal, to inspire creativity amongst young people, especially in terms of entrepreneurial enterprising. That's what they call it. They call it enterprising spirit. They want to inculcate the spirit of entrepreneurship. But today we've got young people who have been really blessed to not only wish to be entrepreneurs, but who went on and did it. They've done it. These young people who are part of our panel today, I know them personally, and I've seen them, like, imagine. I know them when they were student assistants, some of them. I know them when they were just active student leaders on campus. And today I've seen what they've achieved. And they used to talk about these things while they were in the university, that one day I'm going to start a business. And they did not only talk about it, they went on and did it. These are the ones who did it. These are the ones who made it. These are the ones who are like walking the path that they said they will walk. I know some of them are millionaires. I remember listening to Mr. Zulu telling the students about how he made his first millionaire. I saw the other one driving a very expensive car the other day. I know these young people are serious millionaires. They are serious entrepreneurs. When you look at, there's a study which is called the GEM study, the GEM report. The GEM report suggests that when graduates start businesses, those businesses are likely to be successful and they are likely to stay in business.
And at this point, I don't know if the technology problem is on my side or what is going on.
Can you hear me properly?
We can hear you.
Okay, on my side, it's okay, Anga. I think it was on your side. Just sort out your connectivity there. Let me just continue. What I was saying was that I've seen in the past, I've read a GEM report. This GEM report is a report that measures entrepreneurial activity in the world. And they also measure entrepreneurial activity in South Africa as well. It's a study which is conducted by many universities. The study suggests that usually when people without degrees start businesses and they are offered a job, they leave the business and go to a job. But it says when those with degrees start businesses, even if you offer them a job, they will continue with the business. And because they are not survivalists, the businesses which are started by graduates, they become better because graduates have knowledge, graduates have understanding, graduates have made a decision to go on business informed by a good rationale, unlike people who just went there just to survive. And then as and when they're offered a job or when challenges come, they drop the business. That's why today we've got these young people, 3 of the dynamites, young dynamites, who have started businesses and who are pursuing these businesses, and these businesses are proving their GEM study right, that when those with degrees, those with diplomas, those who are coming from Tshwane University of Technology in particular, start businesses, those businesses become a success. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have wonderful conversations today with these young people who have traveled the path and then who are doing very well in their own lives. Another thing that is very important is that we need to have what we call models. What we lack in Black communities in South Africa, we don't have enough models. You see the other races, especially the Indians, they grow up in a shop, they grow up seeing models, people doing business. They see professionals in their families. You see white people is the same thing, like they grow up having models. That's why it's easy for them to have the appetite of being in business or running business because they've seen their fathers, their uncles, their mothers running businesses. So today, the reason why we're bringing these 3 young people in particular together with Mr. Hlajwayo is so that other young people can see models, people who have traveled the journey, people who have made this thing happen, and people who are still going to make it happen. So we're hoping to inspire many generations of young people today. Thank you very much, Anza. May God bless you as you are having a wonderful engagement today. And welcome aboard to all our speakers. Welcome to the viewers and participants. May God richly bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I think one of the things that I should direct my questions to is the challenges of using technology. So I had one of those when you have to conduct one of those important meetings in a time like this when things have just moved digitally and things just went off. But luckily, I am back here. So we're going to start off with one of our speakers. He is an inspirational speaker. I've been looking forward into this conversation. He's an author, he's a youth mentor, he's a trainer and a youth advisor. He's also an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of students have, many students know him. During my time as a student, people would always talk about him and I would be like, okay, who is that? Please do welcome Mr. Sanele Zulu. Good afternoon, Sanele.
Good afternoon, Anza, and good afternoon to the colleagues and to Mr. Xaba as well.
I know you have quite a busy schedule, so thank you so much for taking time to be part of this workshop.
For TUT, we do anything and we stop the world for our last year university. That's where we are.
All right, so with you, I just want to take it back into the beginning. You are a TUT graduate. If I'm wrong, you studied marketing management, am I right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
All right. So what I want to know is, as a young person studying marketing, how did you get to have the mind to say, I want to be an entrepreneur? Was it something that you always had in mind, or is something that just came up while you were studying?
Yeah. Interesting enough, my journey as an entrepreneur started way before TUT. It started when I was in high school. But interesting enough, when I got to TUT, it continued. We used to sit at Romans. There used to be Romans. I wonder if it's still there, because I was at main campus. And I used to see young people really, gathering together. And at that time, I was doing something that Mr. Klaba is very passionate about, which was a leadership development. But I think what really fueled me with TUT as well was okay. All right, noted, Chris. So what really fueled me, by the way, was some of the sessions like this while I was at TUT, because then there was a challenge for us to be readers. And then I remember when I wrote my first book, actually, I was staying at Muzinda, and I remember I wrote about two pages. And then while I was taking a bus, I gave it to the students in the bus, and I was like, guys, can you please read this? And then one of the guys in the bus said, Sanel, this is a powerful book. You have to continue writing this book. And I was still at TUT, and I think I was doing my second year at that time. But I mean, I have a book now. That book was launched while I was still a student, and it was just some of the things that while I was a student, I was always looking forward to saying, how do I advance myself with what's available and what we have access to? And I used to stay at the library all the time till late, reading books. Funny enough, at the library of TUT, you find all kinds of books. My main books were like, motivational books, inspirational books. And I mean, some of the books, I would remember that as I look at them, I would be like, people don't understand what the libraries of TUT have. And some of us are a product of what we've read in the libraries of TUT.
That's where my question was coming, talking about your book. So according to my research, you published the book when you were 21.
Yes. So yeah, the book was published when I was 21, but I started writing it while I was at TUT, and I officially published when I was 21 years old. It was a dream that I had, but you understand that at that age, you are thinking, is it possible? Is it not? And I can tell you now that it was trial and error. In my book, it's called Part of the Plan. I share as well as to even failure is part of the plan. Here's an interesting story that happened. Because I had the agency of publishing my book, I remember that I wanted to send it for print before it was edited, because I didn't know that you need to at least get 2 editors and proofreaders before you take for print. And I told my sister said to me, Sanel, I've read this thing, it's not ready to be published. And then I thought, no, this one is the enemy of success. I need to send this thing for print. When it came back, the proofreader almost rewrote the whole book, because they were like, Sanel, we can see the fire. And I think it's one of the lessons to say, sometimes you may have the passion and the fire, but you always need to find someone to guide you and to mentor you, so you don't just publish. Because sometimes, you want to take out, the fat books are not ready, to be sold. But when you have this fire to say, I'm a kunyama mnandi, therefore, let me just take them out. So, but luckily I had my sister who then said to me, Sanele, come down. The book we shall launch, but let's do it thoroughly and let's do it properly. But eventually the book was launched and it was a great success.
All right. For many young people, they first get a job, become employed, and while they are working, they decide, okay, let me just become an entrepreneur. Did you get to be an entrepreneur right after graduating, or you started working somewhere first?
Let me tell you the scariest thing that I've noticed, and I still notice now, is that in my class of marketing at TUT, we were almost, maybe let's say the whole team of marketing. There was a building called Building 31. There it was like all the, management studies. We were so many, and I used to look at my class and think, guys, when we graduate, man, are we all going for the same job? And I have guys now that were like the smartest in class, but because really there's not so much job opportunities out there, it was really hard for me to just base my diploma on, I want to go out and find a job. So I said to myself, I'm not going to look for a job. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create jobs, and therefore, it was exciting to say, what do I do after this? And I went out, because already at TUT I had started a couple of businesses. Many of them failed, by the way. while I was at TUT. But I say to people that when you fail, you must fail fast so that you can learn fast and then you pick yourself up quicker as well. So therefore, for me, when I was out of TUT, then it was trial and error still. I remember I used to go to leave my sister's place, and then I would say to her, I'm going to the office. And at that time, I was just going to the library at Semi-Max in Pretoria. I would get there, do research, opportunities, jobs. We used to attend conferences. We used to attend sessions like this. Because I've always believed immediately then that what you think about and what you speak about, it actually becomes. And as Mr. Klaba was saying, I used to say when I was a student at TUT, guys, one day you're going to have to call my PA's PA to get to me. 3 months ago, there's a friend of mine who I went to class with. He was trying to get a hold of me. He couldn't get a hold of me. And then he had to call my office. At my office, they said, okay, wait, hold on for Mr. Zulu's PA. And then this guy calls me later and he's like, hey, suddenly you were not joking, was it? You said this thing while we were still at varsity. And I mean, that's what I say to young people as well, to say what you speak about and think about, you bring about. And therefore, it's quite important that people as students, they be careful of what they say, they be careful of what they think, because that which they say and which they think becomes. And I'm a testimony of that. And I don't take it lightly. And I used to say to them, by the way, that I'm going to be one of the employers of TUT. And if I can tell you now, the team that I have, the people that have come through to our company, it's almost all of them are from TUT. And I know my friends always joke and say, you are so biased towards TUT students. I'm like, of course, guys, that's my university. And I was taught we empower people, we empower our own.
Yes, yes. Now, for many young people, if you sit around with students out there, they will tell you, I want to start my own business. I want to own a company, but they don't really know how they can go about that. I want you to take us into the journey of your first business. What business was it, and what challenges did you come across?
Okay, my first business, let me just say it was a photography business. And I was so convinced that it was going to be a success, and I would go around the mall looking for people that want to take pictures, and it was not easy, it was tough, and it failed because I was using a camera, my sister's camera. So the first principle that I share with people is that resources will always be limited, but creativity will be always unlimited. So people need to be creative. People always believe that you need money to start a business. I say no. You need an idea to start a business. Because I can tell you now, I've almost done this 3 or 4 times where I post on social media and say, guys, I have 100,000 and I don't know what to do with it. I'm looking for ideas. And I can tell you the things that people give us as ideas, you just realize that no, people are not lacking the money, but they're lacking the ideas. I remember there's another business I started, it was called the mobile car wash. It was so exciting because I thought like it was a new thing. Then I printed about 2,000 flyers. And then, I distributed them in Centurion, in a neighborhood called Dorenkloof. And then I put those flyers in every house. And the most shocking thing, I only received 2 calls out of 2,000 flyers that I had sent out to 2,000 homes. And now the question is, was it a good idea? Yes. Was it the right time? Maybe no. Was it the right market? Maybe no. What am I saying? The second thing is that people then, once you have an idea, then you need to do thorough research. Because without research, you're going to fail again and again. Remember, I always say to people as well, thirdly, passion doesn't always pay. You may be passionate about something, but if the market, because the market is the dictator, the market will say they want something or they don't want something, right? And we must, as entrepreneurs or young entrepreneurs, respect the market better than our passion. Because if the passion, you can be as passionate as you want. If the market says we don't want your product, they will decline it and you will be so hurt if you are all about passion. But if you've done enough research, so you've got a good idea, you've done enough research, and then at least you know that you are on your way somewhere. Then the last one, you have to find a mentor. I failed in 7 businesses before my businesses now. The 7th business, after I failed, I was about to quit and go back to Nongoma. And then I remember I found a mentor. This guy was a millionaire. I said to myself, I've always wanted to be a millionaire. Therefore, let me learn from him.
Yeah. Now you're talking about having to have an idea, not money, in order for you, or rather capital, in order for you to start a business. Now, did you apply for some sort of funding for you to get started?
Unfortunately, no. By the way, funding is not easy to get, guys, and I'm aware that NYDA is here and we advocate for NYDA. But remember, guys, the likes of your NYDA have got over 2 or 6 million young people they need to service. Same applies as when we were studying at TUT, and it was about 1,000 of us in management building. You know, NYDA has to service about 6 million people. The budget of NYDA is so limited. Remember, resources are limited. So even NYDA's resources are limited. Unfortunately, I never got funding, but I know that the funding is out there, and funding requires patience. And most of our young people are not patient enough. They want to be overnight success. You know, they want to be the microwave kind of entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, we can't lie to them, some of us, and say, if you have an idea, don't worry, you're going to be successful tomorrow. No, it's trial and error. Even with application, NYDA, you may apply the first time, second time, third time. They only give you funding the fifth time. So it really requires resilience. So unfortunately, I've never gotten any funding. But again, it was all about being creative. What do you do? There's something also called collaboration. I say collaboration is the new innovation. You don't have to own anything. You know, people always believe that because people are concerned about positions. You know, when you are obsessed with entrepreneurship, you're obsessed with product and money. You're not obsessed with position. Even if you're not known as the CEO, as the founder, it doesn't matter. The question we're asking, are you servicing the market and are you making money? Because some of us, some of the people that, you know, are on social media, they promote the lifestyle. You think, hey, they're successful. Can't they? No, there's nothing to it. They're just promoting a lifestyle, but you know, they're not employing people, they're not creating jobs, they're not having money. So for me, I think it's critical to say funding is available, but don't just start the business because you're thinking you're going to get funding.
All right. Now, you said that you started many businesses while you were a student, which failed. Now, I want to know about the first business that we spoke about that you started after graduating. Did it survive?
No, that one survived. It survived after some time, though. After some trial and error. It's called now Tosaka Media Group. It's a marketing and communications company. And it was started actually with myself and another student who was also at TUT studying entrepreneurship. So it survived. But after trial and error, because I remember that the one thing I always share with people is that before I started that business, then I found a mentor. Now, the one thing I did with this guy, I went to him wanting to learn. And then he had a program called 12-12-12. He was recruiting 12 entrepreneurs to run 12 businesses in 12 months. Now, every entrepreneur that joined that one-year program, they fell off the program because they were looking for money. Now, what I did with this guy, every time I was with him, I was carrying a pen and a paper because I wanted to know what has caused this guy to be so successful. But after 2 years that I spent with this guy, I was not even getting a salary. Now, there's many students that may be listening to this and saying, I cannot work for no money. Sure, depends what you want. Well, for me, I was driven. I knew what I wanted from this guy. If you want money, go for it. You will find money and you'll be lucky, maybe. But for me, it was knowledge. It was wisdom that I wanted after this guy. Because I can tell you the things I learned from this guy helped my business survive. And I've said that people must find mentors. Mentors are like a pool of wisdom. And without mentors, I'm telling you, you're going to fail again and again. So that business survived, to answer you shortly. And only, I must say, it didn't survive because of anything, except that really I had found a mentor who was able to say, Sanade, this is what you learned at school, but also this is now the street smart, you know, way of doing things, where you need to understand the real world. Because there's theory, there's practicality. So he taught me the practical side of business.
Are there many other businesses that you are running apart from that one?
Yeah, there's a couple. We are running about 4 businesses. The other one deals with water. We're doing a borehole drilling business. Very, very good business. It's an impactful business. There's so many communities in South Africa. And I think it goes back to what I always speak about when I speak about entrepreneurship, to say there's so many problems in the country. Ours as entrepreneurs is to solve those problems. And the best way to find an idea is not based on what you love. Forget what you love. It's really based on what's the problem. That thing that keeps you up at night. And when I was growing up in Nongom, we used to go get water with buckets, you know, and water was an issue. So that thing has always been a nudge for me to say, one day I want to drill a borehole for my mom at home. But the day these guys came and I realized that most of the drilling business is literally owned by white people, I said, no, we need to distract the economy. You know, it's not an easy one. You know, but I said to myself, no, we need to distract that economy. And then I entered into the space, and now we have a drill rig. We're drilling boreholes in rural communities. We're also working with government, with donors, and it's just one of the many businesses that we are currently running. And by the way, some of these businesses are really taking students from TUT. And for me, it's always exciting to employ one of our own and to have students that come from TUT to join us and we create employment.
All right, I have 4 minutes left for our discussion. Now, as you started your business under normal circumstances, in the past year, COVID-19 came into our lives. We were in a hard lockdown. Many businesses didn't survive that. How did the past year have an impact on your business?
Yeah. You see, what I like about what you're saying is that COVID has taught us as entrepreneurs. I mean, I had to shut down 2 offices. I had to retrench. It's not the nicest thing to do, but it's the reality. Now, COVID challenges us in one thing. Is it the only thing you want to do, or you can explore other things? So, for example, there's many students here that could be studying a course, whatever course it may be. Some of them, maybe it might even be too late to change that course. Sure, no problem. The question is, there's something called the 4th Industrial Revolution. What are you doing about it? Do you know about it? Are you researching about the future jobs, the future opportunities? You know, I was looking today, a friend of mine sends me a message to say, Take a Lot, I think, made about 1.5 billion in their financial year. And I said to him, what is it that we're not getting right? Because Take a Lot is nothing genius. They are just doing what Amazon has always done. They don't own anything. There's Airbnbs of this world. So I think for me, it's to challenge ourselves to say, what is it that we can do so that we don't focus on one thing, even if you're in a career. But in entrepreneurship, it's even better because we call it multiple streams of income. And the more you have multiple streams of income, the better for you and the better for also for the team that you keep. So, but it's been a tough time. I mean, some of us really experienced a tough time. We lost money, we closed down offices, but we rise again. I mean, that's what entrepreneurship also teaches you, the resilience, to say, when you fall, do you stay down or do you pick yourself up? But my last message, and I think my parting shots as well, is to say to young people, really, really look for ideas, look for problems, whether in your community. There's a reason why you were born where you were born. So therefore, you don't have to rush to Joburg, to Durban, to wherever. Find problems where you are. Go find help in Joburg and wherever, and come back home and solve the societal issues that we are facing there. 2, find a mentor. We have to find a mentor. 3, read. Read as much as you can. Readers are leaders, but I can tell you success in business says you have to read so that you can be successful as well.
Thank you so much for your time. That's very inspiring. I've always had chance to hear people talking about Mr. Sanile Zulu. I had to take time to Google, who is this man? And now I understand why many of our students here at the Tshwane University of Technology look up to you. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Zulu. Now, if you have any questions, I know you probably have many questions, how you can start your own business, how you can get things running, please go to our Facebook page, Tshwane University of Technology, TUT. Leave those questions there and we will look into them towards the end of this program. Now we move forward with the program. We have our next speaker is Ms. Nthabi Mokgotsi. Good afternoon, Nthabi. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm very good, and how are you?
I'm okay. I'm happy to say this is not really the first time I had to meet you. I remember back in 2014 or 2015. The face looks familiar.
I'm sure we met. One way or the other.
All right, now, before we get into anything, right, you are a TUT graduate as well, right?
That's correct.
And you are a qualified senior web developer and designer. Now, I'm going to imply that you studied something to do with ICT. Which course did you do with TUT?
So I did web applications and development with a TUT. So I am a product of TUT. So I have a diploma. I started my BTech, and I'll confess I didn't finish it because I had car accidents happening along the way. But it's something that didn't stop me from, continuing and, growing my skills in whatever field that I got to learn. So there's just so much that I was able to still do in the process. But web application and development was my major.
My discussion with you, I want to take it towards women empowerment. You are a creative designer, you're an entrepreneur, brand builder, and a motivator. I've also read that you are a face behind 2 companies. Please tell us more about those.
Okay, so Ntavi is a brand, brains behind IL Design's creative approach, which is a design business, design agency that offers branding solutions. So that is what we do. And the whole approach is to give a creative approach, unique approach to all businesses, even brands, even like specific personal brands. Because, when we think of business, you on your own, you can actually be a business. So sometimes people think of it as having like a standard office somewhere, but you can have your brand and you representing your brand. Now it's two businesses, but all these other businesses, they are under IL Design. So IL Design is the main business. So within the business, I have built a brand, Real Talk with Ntavi, which is a brand under the company. But now it is funded by the business, and at the same time, I have monetized it in a way. But now Boovie brand, on the other hand, which is now an online store, I've converted it into an online store, was fully funded by IL Design's creative approach, which focuses on, empowering women in terms of the products that we have, from, the t-shirts that we have to also the, earrings, like whatever match that we are selling. But more than anything, our core business is really IL Designs, because that is the baby that I got to give birth while I was still at TUT, while I was still a student. When students were lazy to do their assignments, they would come to me and say, can you do this system for me, because I need to submit this assignment? And I would, put a price for that, and I could see that they were paying, and I was like, actually, I can, convert this into a great business. So how can I go about it? Then I started finding ways to really monetize it while I was still a student, without obviously letting it interfere with my studies and anything. So yeah, that's basically the two businesses.
So that's something that you started while you were a student. Did you get to a point where after graduating you had to look for a job, and did you have any challenges looking for a job, or you just decided after graduating, this is what I'm going to focus on, since I've been working on it since I was a student?
Excuse me, there was a bit of noise. I didn't hear you clearly. I think there's someone who's not muted.
The business that you started, you were still a student, right?
Yes.
So now, did you had to be one of those unemployed students after your graduation looking for a job? Did you have a challenge looking for a job, or you just decided, I've been working on this, let me just go ahead and start my business without having to look for a job?
Oh, wow. You know what? I got to be very fortunate while I was still studying, because I think already I had a business mindset from the get-go. And I even got to have great opportunities within the institution before I could even get out and, start getting jobs. So what happened was, when I was still in second year, I got to be appointed as a student assistant, where I was, teaching visual basics. And that was, something that I would do twice in a week. And that would pay me around, 750 to 1,000, depending on how long I'll be working and all of that. So that is basically how it started. It wasn't really a struggle for me, because already when I was in second year, I could already, start making money. But then it didn't stop there. I was also keen on wanting to know more, wanting to learn more, and grabbing every opportunity possible, to a point where I even taught, foundation student computer literacy. And I got to be employed for, have a contract with the ICT department, which was something great for me. And right after that, I was given also an opportunity to go work at corporate affairs at the main campus in Pretoria. So I was able to work there as obviously focusing on corporate and marketing, being an assistant, and taking care of the university website, the e-tutors, and all of those things. So that was, a mindset that I had to say, I can't just, use my skills to say, okay, I'm just going to study and just strictly go and look for a job. I had to say, okay, all the things that I'm learning, how can I still utilize the skills within the environment that I'm in. So I was always curious. You know, they usually say that, but about papa. So now I consider myself to be that person, get papa, and then get papa like they can benefit me. So that's the approach that I had, to be curious, to be fascinated about how things happen. And I think all of that really helped me to shape my, you know, business mindset, and not only that, to build my skills even more, because not only was I shaping my path in terms of a role that I will get out of the qualification that I've had, but also for my own business, how to manage money, knowing how to manage, you know, as an entrepreneur, managing money is very important. If you don't know where each and every cent goes, already you have a problem, because money is going to come in, money is going to go out, and you won't know what's happening. So those are the principles that I got to learn in the process.
Now, many businesses don't always survive. You know, people can start things, and before you know it, they just close down because of many different challenges. Did you encounter any challenges as you were in your business, as you were getting it together to where it is today?
All right, so I've encountered many challenges, and I can still tell you that even today, I won't say that there are no challenges in business. So I've encountered a lot, and you know, some of those were okay. So it was a confusion of, okay, I have a business and I have an 8 to 5. How do I juggle all of this? And how do I, you know, really grow my business and as an entrepreneur, and really give it enough effort, enough attention, and still grow? Because, you know, the challenge is that when you think of a business, you think of growing it, but the growth of a business is all dependent on how you can scale it, how you can make profit. So now I had to look at that, and as a startup, it was difficult to really get business just like that. So it means there had to be a good balance. So I had to balance and juggle both. It wasn't easy, because at the same time I was studying. It wasn't really easy, but I was able to do that. But now this is something that I had to really think about, and especially as because I can tell you now, a couple of years ago, and I think even this will help someone who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur. A couple of years ago, you know, entrepreneurship was glorified in a way that when you are called an entrepreneur, that title on its own, it was made to feel like you have arrived or something like that. And the challenge with that is that you get to have the pressure of wanting to tell people how you own a business, how you run your own business, and just be glorified for that. But what happens in the business is really what matters the most. So I had to take a decision, and this is a decision that I took while obviously studying, and even when I had great jobs that I had, you know, and like I had to have that introspection of, should I quit my business or should I still work on it and still have another job? So I had to balance the two. And I decided, no, I will run my business part-time, because this is a legacy that I want to create. I'm not a serial entrepreneur, meaning I won't just build a business to just give it away. But the whole idea is to build an empire and grow other businesses within that. So now this is how I looked at it, to say I can work part-time and be honest with my clients, because I think another thing about growing a business is that you need to have a good relationship with your clients, good relationship with whoever, you know, the consumers, whoever you are partnering with when it comes to business, and be honest as possible, because if you don't deliver, it becomes a problem. You're breaking that promise, and you're not building that long-term relationship. So I had to be clear that I'm going to run my business part-time. Then, you know, I'll do your work maybe more on weekends. If I'm able to deliver this day, I'll do that. So you become clear. But all of that happened, and I got to reach a point when the business was now growing and growing. And I mean, IL Designs is now on 6 years operating, and now it's grown and I've got more clients. I work with companies, and I got to now realize that it can't be running part-time all the time. I need to now focus on it. That's when I decided to quit my job. But all of that was obviously supported by the fact that I had to really go through the most. So those were the challenges that were there. And obviously losing clients is one big challenge when it comes to business. I lost clients and I had to take decisions to say, I'm going to let go of clients. And the nature of my business as a designer, as a, graphic web designer, most of the time you get clients that don't know what they want, or somehow when you explain to them, they tend to be okay. After a while, they decide, no, I don't think this is what I wanted. And sometimes they don't even want to pay. So I was like, I would rather have 10 clients that are willing to work with me and pay for their services than to have more clients that will cost me more. So yeah, challenges are a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship, but I think that's a few that I can mention.
Please correct me if I heard you correctly. You mentioned that you have moved into an online store, right?
So that is the other part of the business.
Other part of the business.
Yeah, so the Booby brand, which I sell, like this earrings right there, it's part of what I'm selling, and I sell t-shirts as well. And also IL Designs, the online side of it is that I now currently work with other international, clients where I would design services for them. It's things like design website. It's nice because it's digital. You can do it anywhere, anyhow. So I had to really incorporate that, especially now that we look at how, the pandemic has really shifted things around. And I was able to really look at how I can digitalize it even more, because I've always been digital. Digital has always been my language. A lot of people that are not in the digital space are only discovering it, the importance of it now, but it has always been there. I mean, that's something that we need to take note of. Even when I was in TUT studying, I got to learn about e-commerce, how to create a website, an e-commerce website, so selling online and all of that. So yes, I do have that business where you can purchase online.
That's one of the topics that I want to talk about now. We see COVID-19 came into our lives and it shifted e-commerce ahead many times. Now, in the beginning, it was tough, but as time goes by, I see many people are more comfortable with the online purchase. They're finding them much easier than the other purchase, which is a good thing that you already have a store online and people are really already familiarizing themselves with these kind of topics. Now, as we know, most people, or the people who are most impacted by social change, are women. You look at the salary scales between women and men, they are not the same. Boardrooms are not much more representatives of women. Now we have women out there who have the brains, the ideas that they want to start something. What advice would you give them?
All right, so woman to woman, I can tell you that when I got to work in corporate and other agencies and everything, I got to experience being the only woman being a part of the team, and I got to experience that thing of not being valued more than the men, and even my voice being deemed, because obviously I'm a woman. Even the ideas that I would come up with, they can be considered lost, even though sometimes they would win, so it was quite an issue there. But what I can say to women is that things have changed, the ball has changed, and we are not going to just limit our capabilities as women just because it's known that men have to take the lead. I can tell you this, a leader is someone who is able to bring change. A leader is someone who can make a difference. A leader is someone who can make a difference. So whether it's a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. The skill that I have compared to another man is no different. It's no different. If I can sit as a CEO of a company and make decisions as a woman, then I should be listened to. And another thing, I don't want women to really feel sorry for themselves, or to even, continue with this conversation of we are not really considered. You need to stand firm in what you believe in. If you walk into an industry, or if you come with your company and say, this is what I can offer your company and all of that, if they don't buy into what you're saying, or they undermine the fact that you're a woman, make sure that you set the record straight in terms of who you're about, what you're doing, because your level of skills and what you've acquired really speaks on your behalf. And if the work speaks for you, you can't even really negotiate. If it's something that is not supported, then you can just leave and, go find something else. And another thing is not just about building a business or just going in to make money, but it's also about, am I respected? Am I valued? Is my value being seen in the business? Am I able to just jump in there and be listened to the right way, and not to walk out and then they're like, I can't listen to that woman. And things have changed. And I'm glad to also say that a lot of companies, a lot of entrepreneurs have grown to outgrow that part of undermining the power of women. As women, we are powerful, we are able, nothing can stop us. We can just do whatever. So don't limit yourself. And even if a person says no, leave knowing exactly that you have left your right mark. Even when you have left, they'll know who you are and they'll see you, because you are not going to go down. You're only going up.
All right, now I'm already running way out of time, but I have this one question that I want to ask quickly. You have always been digital. Now, for young women, they want to start business. We are into the digital space now. Most things are happening online. I see. Correct me if you have a YouTube page where, I don't know, I saw it somewhere, because I did quite a lot of research. Now, I just want to understand, with the YouTube page, are you like advising or teaching women how they can market product digitally?
All right, so my YouTube channel, the whole objective is to empower and transform. So I do teach, and if you allow me, let me tell you the most amazing thing that I did during the beginning of a pandemic. So what I did, I started doing what we call let's talk business over coffee. That's why I always have coffee. It's more of my signature type of thing. So I started a conversation where I spoke to businesses, to people that want to start businesses, tell them exactly what they need to do in the digital space. I even have a page on Facebook called Digital Boss, where we talk about everything digital. So I do educate as much as I can share my lifestyle in terms of vlogs and everything, but it's mainly to talk about business empowerment, motivation. So it's there to really help you scale, help you to become, a better business person. So definitely a lot of people have seen growth in terms of them checking out my work, and they have developed themselves. They have even got to work with me, and I'm also doing it as a form of building my brand even more, or scaling it up, or just going globally, because something about technology, guys, and being digital is that you have an opportunity to work with various clients, to work with all people across the globe, because right now you can't limit your business to say, I'm just going to work with people just around Pretoria, just around Gauteng. You can just work around the world. So that is the beauty of it. So please go subscribe. It's Real Talk with Ntabi.
Thank you so much, Ntabi, for your time.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it and hope it helps someone.
All right, that is Ntabi Mokhosi, which is also one of the TUT graduates and entrepreneur. She's really doing wonders. Now we have to move into our next speaker. He's also an entrepreneur and also a mentor. His name is Siyabonga Cele. Good afternoon, Mr. Cele.
A very good afternoon to you, Anza.
How are you that side?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very wonderful. I'm glad and delighted to be having this conversation with you. I know you are really busy out there, but thank you so much for taking this time to share your knowledge and experiences with us.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
You are one of TUT graduates. This is really interesting to see that TUT Tshwane University of Technology is producing great entrepreneurs out there, which is it's a motivation to us. So you studied human resource management with Tshwane University of Technology, and you are now an entrepreneur. Now, I just want to know, most people when they graduate, we just want to get a job. We start sending out our CVs while we're on third year. So did you also get to start working before you become an entrepreneur?
Yes, I had to first work. Even though when I started working, my focus was just only to climb the corporate ladder and became one of the top executives. But as time goes by, I think all the changes because of the drive and the fire I think one had inside, that's always pushing that you become. I'm one person also believe that you are born an entrepreneur, and then it's like a calling. As much as you can try to hide it and try to find employment, it will always surface. So with me, it's also like that. I started working, and I was very much passionate about my work, and I loved what I was doing, but yet this entrepreneurship thing took over, and then I find myself here now.
You are a founder and CEO of Harvest Group, which you started in 2015, am I correct?
Actually, the first company I registered, it was in 2011.
Oh.
The company, which is called Harvest HR and Business Consultant. I'd say it is a mother. It gave birth to the group, Harvest Group. Harvest Group consists of about 6 companies now that are within the group. We have Harvest Heavy Duty Construction. We have Harvest Safe and Reliable Transport, which is more of a logistics company. We have Harvest Medicinal Hygiene. We also have Harvest Safe and Reliable Transport, Harvest Elegant Property. So all these companies, they form the group, which is called Harvest Group.
So you started this in 2011. Were you still a student at the time?
2011, I had already started working. I was doing an internship. I started in 2010 when I was still busy with my BTech, because I was doing evening classes. So I'd go to work during the day, and then in the evening I'll attend the classes, because our classes, they were starting around 5. So I had ample time during the day to do something. So I started doing my internship in 2010. So when I registered the first company, which is Harvest HR and Business Consultant, the idea was to pursue, because I studied human resource management, so to pursue opportunities around the space of human resource. So the first opportunity I got, it was to do payroll administration. So I had a client which had a contract in mind that I was helping them to do their payroll. So that was the first opportunity under the company, even though I had done so many businesses before that company was even registered. Taking it back from primary school, I would always have something to sell, whether sweets, cakes, So I think this thing has always been with me, So before that, after that, when I was in tertiary, I was doing cards, invitation cards, for people, you know. So I think then from there, I started the Harvest HR and Business Consultant in 2011. So that time I was already working, and then I was doing that payroll administration part-time, and then helping companies with the HR policies. And the idea was also to tap into the recruitment space, but you know, it was very difficult at that time because that industry is also still, you know, white dominated. So to penetrate into that industry, it was a little bit of a challenge. And it was during the time whereby there were a lot of unrest in the labor space. So it was really tough, you know, when the unions were fighting against the brokers, and so it was scary to really try and force him to enter into that space. But yeah, and then because I believe if you are an entrepreneur, you need to be an opportunist. So you need to seek for opportunities and then try to close the gap, because there's always a gap that one can close. So yeah, then that also got to introduce me into construction, which was the company that I registered in 2013. And then yeah, the others followed. And then, you know, like I said, if you are an entrepreneur, you need to be an opportunist. So you keep on seeking the opportunities, and you follow that, and then you try to bridge that gap.
For many of students, young people, they don't even know if they have to start a business, which direction they should take. I guess it goes with lack of knowledge and guidance, and it's always a matter of finances. Now, did you had were you lucky enough to get mentorship and funding for you to be able to start a business?
I think I was very much fortunate because I was part of, I started following NYDA, where back then when it was still called Umsobomvu Youth Fund. So I was a member there. At that particular time, there was nothing much that was offered under Umsobomvu Youth Fund, but you'd get an opportunity to use their internet, you know, that internet cafe, which was the office around the campus, actually just outside the campus, Arcadia campus. So there was an opportunity that was situated there. So we'll have that access to use internet, and then we got introduced to their programs, and which then later changes to NYDA. So there were more now, I'd say, programs for the youth that were open. So one started to attend those programs, and then it was, I think it had helped me a lot in terms of mentorship, as well as in terms of funding, because I think the first batch of flyers, folders, even the website, it was done through NYDA. So I got a voucher there to do those things. So yes, it really helped me, and the mentorship and the trainings that we were attending from National Youth Development Agency.
COVID-19 has changed the reality of work. How did COVID-19 and lockdown impact your company from last year up to date?
Yeah, COVID-19, it was, yeah, it brought a new way of doing things, you know. I'd say what helped me to survive during this time is because one had diversified, and then one had tried to actually have different streams sort of income. I think that what had helped us to survive. It was a difficult time for almost everyone, but you know, being in different industries, and we were affected in different ways. And as much as some of the businesses were doing very well during that time because of the industries that people were in. So I think we also got to be lucky that we also had other things that we were doing, which like logistics, which still kept on going, you know. So it helped to also boost and also just to keep the other elements of business surviving, like because construction, there was nothing happening, you know. Even property people were, you know, didn't have money, even enough money to pay rent. So it was pretty much difficult, but I think it has taught us or forced us even to move forward to the fourth industrial revolution, whereby now we need to learn to do things in a different way, you know. Like now we are still able to conduct such seminars through what you call technology. So I think one has to learn just to, you know, adjust and adapt and find a way, because opportunities will still be there. It's just a matter of positioning yourself.
All right. Now, are there chances that you would hire Tshwane University of Technology students, or do you have employees who are from the university?
Yes, we have, and it's a little bit funny because some of the people, it's people that we used to go to school with, you know, and it's a little bit difficult, even though we're not in the same class or doing the same course, but now you find yourself, you know, being a boss to those people. It's a little bit somehow, but yeah, yes, we have, and we still continue to do so.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, and for also opening this platform and the opportunity.
All right, we're moving towards the last speaker. So we're going to be having our last speaker for the day before we get to wrap the program up. So unfortunately, due to time, I won't be able to be taking any questions. But our last speaker, his name is Mr. Philani Hlatshwayo. He is a practitioner at SGLD and also a co-host on Soweto TV show called Mzansi Help Me to Find a Job. Good afternoon, Mr. Hlatshwayo. Please switch on your mic. It's off.
Good afternoon, Zach. Good afternoon, Dr. Xaba, and good afternoon to all our guests. Fortunately enough, I think all of them, I've interacted with them, and I'm so inspired. And good afternoon to all the people who are listening to this wonderful program.
You are a co-host for the show called Mzansi Help Me to Find a Job. Please tell us what this show is all about.
No, Mzansi Help Me Find a Job. Its intention is to assist graduates who are unemployed to brand themselves and market themselves and secure job opportunities. The intention is to assist the country to reduce the unemployment rate, especially amongst young people.
Then how does one get to be part of the program?
What we do with Mzansi Help Me Find a Job, the first thing that we did, we had to research, look for the unemployed graduates and profile them. Having profiled them, then we market them and take them through the recruitment agencies so that they can assist them either with preparing a very professional CV and also prepare for job interviews. Those are the things to do. But for people to be part of the program, we co-work with Mbali Nkosi, whom they email her all their CVs. Then she then making sure that we build a database of all the graduates that have submitted their CVs to us.
So which email address? Somebody now is really interested now. They really want to be part of this. Could you please share that email address with us?
I will definitely do so.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, as you are working for this program and you're also part of the Tshwane University of Technology, have you assisted any of our students?
No, we did. Actually, even way before the show, fortunately enough, being also in the political space, the network that you have, I'll always have, with the comrades language, you'll say comrades. I'll always have comrades who will say, Ish, I'm looking for an IT person, I'm looking for a civil engineering person. And for so many years, I've always recommended graduates, especially from TUT, to secure opportunities. But with this show, when it started, I think it drew attention of many people when, especially the Black emerging companies. I remember the first company, they were looking for engineers, and the other company was looking for the risk manager. Recently, they were looking for an admin. So we have pushed some, and we're in the process whereby we're finalizing with one potential sponsor who is looking forward to absorb 25 graduates. So it's something.
Okay, so I just want to understand, do you get to be in partnership with companies, or you just always have to approach them? In other words, I'm saying, are there companies that are just sitting to say, we're expecting you to bring in CVs?
On one side, there is a company that we are partnering with for the second shooting, and that company, of course, their interest might be their branding, marketing themselves. So that's one formal partnership. But on another side as well, we look for mentors. We look for people who can hire the unemployed graduates.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much for sharing the information, and looking forward to having the email address so that the students can be able to send those CVs. If you didn't know, you can be assisted into how you can get a job. Now, before we get to finish off, as I won't be able to be taking out your questions, I would just like our guest speakers, give them this time, starting from Mr. Zulu, and after that, Ms. Ntabiseng, followed by Siyabonga. I want to give you this time to talk to the students about your companies, the names of your companies, and share the contact details with the students. Mr. Zulu. All right, I can't seem to be getting hold of Mr. Zulu there. Ntabi, are you there? Tavi is also not there. Siyabonga, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, if you could just share the information about the company and the details. Maybe our students want to apply for a job. Maybe they can try to just squeeze the CV through, try their luck.
Yes, they can send their CVs to info@harvest-consultants.co.za. info@harvest, consultants, consultants.co.za. Harvest Group, yes.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Zulu, if you could share the contact details of your company, maybe where students can find the company, more information, and perhaps just drop in their CVs.
So people can find me on Sanele, that's Tosaka, TOSACA.co.za. They can also just CC Atlehang at tosaka.co.za. They can just drop us an email there. And yeah, it's easy to say they must just send CVs. But for me, I don't even look at the CV. I look at the character, the personality. So people must work on themselves. before they send a CV to us.
All right, thank you so much. Now, finally, Ms. Ntavi, you are there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry for that.
Yes. Please, you can repeat the information about the YouTube page, the contact details, and other platforms where students can get hold of you.
Okay, so students can get hold of me on my personal social media pages, all the platforms. I am Real Talk with Ntabi. And in terms of business, or maybe trying to know about design and everything, even if you need like training or in-service training, you can go to www.ildesigns.co.za. Even if you can DM on the other platforms, it makes it easier for me to connect with you. So Real Talk with Ntabi, all platforms.
All right, thank you so much. Now, to all our stakeholders and the students, I'm one of those who also was blank. I didn't know anything, and I would love to start my own thing. So I hope you really learned something, and from now you're not gonna just sit with your CV and cry that you cannot find a job. This is an opportunity for you to start thinking, to come up with those ideas. You do have those ideas somewhere, somehow. Come up with those ideas. Like Mr. Zulu said, you need to look for a mentor, somebody who will mentor you business-wise, so that you get to be really trained and understood at business world. So before you get into the entrepreneurship world, you know your story. And if you have any questions about funding, NYDA is there and many other sponsors, but you don't really need to always think about the funding without the idea. So I hope you really learned so much. So from us, this is all, and I would like to just end it here. Have a wonderful day. Mr. Chris, this is the end from my side. And thank you so much to all our guests for your inputs and taking time to join us into today's program.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, have a lovely day, everyone.